Definitely an interesting take on action and comedy. Sakamoto Days, Episode 1. Who is Sakamoto? Well, in this episode, they don't waste any time. Sakamoto was a top class hitman, revered by many hitmen. Also, probably had many enemies. I don't remember if they said that or not. Anyway, he ends up going to a convenience store. He falls in love. This leads up to him having a kid, and thus he gets fat. And now he savors the life that he now has, and he works at a convenience store. Also, we get introduced to a ongoing character named Shin. Shin is a clairvoyant, very reminiscent of Anna from Spy X Family. While not as cute, definitely same power, same genre, completely action comedy, right? That's no hate. I just wanted to put that out there first thing. But Shin very much has an interest in Sakimoto. He thinks he's cool. He's also worked with him in the same organization, which, in this episode, as we saw, Sakimoto has a hit on him from the org. Shin is not able to meet this because Sakimoto takes him out. He ends up getting took back to Sakimoto's house. This all leads up to him tasting Sakimoto's wife's cooking. And after he tastes this is where he figures it out. The whole reason that Sakimoto left this lifestyle was because he wanted to savor this very lifestyle. He goes back to his boss and he's like, "Hey boss, please stop. Don't go and chase Sakimoto." He's like, I'll take my own life if I have to." His boss is just dumb and thinks, haha, as if I'll still go after Sakimoto. But he's like, anyway, this is what he says out of his actual mouth. That was his inner thoughts. He's like, "Go ahead, we won't chase him." And this is where Shin's like, "Nah." Big gunfight goes off. And we go back to where Shin got knocked out by Sakimoto. There was a device on that gun the whole time. And it was just an epic comedy after all of that leading up. Sakimoto has this like gun rack inside the convenience store. It's like all of his hitman stuff. And out of all these, he picks the taser. Not only that, he goes from a taser, chopsticks, to 2 knives. More surprisingly though, like more surprisingly, he actually kills people, including his boss. And there for a minute, I'm like, Sakimoto is not going to say a word, is he? At all in this whole series. They really shook me when he's like, "Hey, after the boss is dead, everything's good," and he's just looking at Shin. He gives him a uniform, and he's like, "Hey, we'll pay you like 800 yen, as well as if you work overtime." I'm like, oh, he's going to say something like, "We're not going to pay you." He's like, "We'll pay you." I'm like, what? So it all comes back to the convenience store where he's now working side by side of Sakimoto. And he fulfills his job really well. He actually helps an older lady out by hearing her thoughts of what she needed, brings it right to her. "Oh, you read my mind." Exactly what he did. So they make really good use of it, and it is known that he can use his power, which I think is great rather than it being unknown. So it's a different direction than Spy X Family, but similar in one way. It's not as Happy Family, but it's Happy Family in another way. I am real excited to see where this goes, and I'll get right to the rating. So, halfway points, I was like, hey, this is a 7.8. Not the worst. Definitely close to mid, but higher mid. Netflix, you did do good with this. You hit the nail right on Dan to Dan. Dan to Dan was fantastic. This, I can't be mad about. Usually it's hard to succeed back to back with shows. And I felt like they did something. It's got to cook a little bit. We're kind of getting introduced to a new universe. And it doesn't just happen off of one episode, guys. So we just got to see where it takes us. After all that, question of the day is, how do you feel about Shin? I think Shin's awesome. And he's going to kind of help protect Sakimoto, even though he doesn't need it. Sakimoto does not need a protector. He is very scary, very good at what he does. Anyway, stay safe, guys. Until next time, peace out.